Hi, how are you guys? Today I will recommend some really good books you can read this fall. I've shortlisted some really amazing books according to me, so keep watching.
The Wind-Up-Bird Chronicle.
So this book is about a young man named Toru, and he searches for his wife's missing cat. He soon finds himself looking for his wife as well as another world that lies beneath the surface of Tokyo. As these searches intersect, Toru encounters a bizarre group of allies and antagonists, a malevolent yet mediogenic politician, a cheerfully morbid 16-year-old girl, and an aging war veteran who has been permanently changed by the hideous things he witnessed during Japan's forgotten campaign in Manchuria. So this book is kind of mysterious, and I like the idea of that netherworld beneath Tokyo. The main reason I picked this book is because the translator of this book is J. Rubin, who translated Norwegian Wood as well. That's why I intend this book to be my second book by Murakami. Conspiracy, Peter Thiel, Hulk Hogan, Gawker, and the Anatomy of Intrigue. So in 2007, a short blog post, the Silicon Valley vertical of Gawker Media outed PayPal founder, billionaire investor Peter Thiel as gay. Thiel's sexuality had been known to close friends and family, but he didn't consider himself a public figure and believed the information was private. This post would be the casus belli for a meticulously plotted conspiracy that would end nearly a decade later with a $140 million judgment against Gawker, its bankruptcy, and with Nick Denton, Gawker's CEO and founder, out of a job. Only later would the world learn that Gawker's demise was not incidental. It had been masterminded by Thiel. For years, Thiel had searched endlessly for a solution to whom he had come to call the Gawker problem. When an unmarked envelope delivered an illegally recorded sex tape of Hogan with his best friend's wife, Gawker had seen the chance for millions of page views and to say the things that others were afraid to say. Thiel saw the publication of the tape as the opportunity he was looking for. He would come to pit Hogan against Gawker in a multi-year proxy war through the Florida legal system, while Gawker remained confidently convinced as they had been over so many lawsuits until it was too late. The verdict would stun the world, and so would Peter's ultimate unmasking as the man who had set it all in motion. Why had he done this? How had no one discovered it? What would this mean for the First Amendment, for privacy, for culture? In the Holiday's masterful telling of this nearly unbelievable conspiracy, informed by interviews with all the key players, this case transcends the narrative of how one billionaire took down a media empire or the current state of the free press. It's a study in power, strategy, and one of the most wildly ambitious and successful secret plots in the recent memory. Some will cheer Gawker's destruction and the others will lament it. But after reading these pages and seeing the access that the author was given, no one will deny that there is something ruthless and brilliant about Peter Thiel's shocking attempt to shake up the world. Now, I know that you will have to follow up with the case to understand what's there in this book, but you can check it out if you like. Now, if you like this book, then you will like my next recommendation as well. The third book is Trust Me, I'm Lying. This book is kind of like the first one, but this book mainly focuses on telling the audience how something goes viral, and let me read directly from the source. You've seen it all before. A malicious online rumor costs a company millions. A politician's sideshow derails the national news cycle and destroys a candidate. Some product or celebrity zooms from total obscurity to viral sensation. What you don't know is that someone is responsible for all this. Usually, someone like me. I'm a media manipulator. In a world where blogs control and distort the news, my job is to control blogs as much as anyone can in today's culture. Number 1, blogs like Gawker, BuzzFeed, and the Huffington Post drive the media agenda. Number 2, bloggers are slaves to money, technology, and deadlines. Number 3, manipulators wield these levers to shape everything you read, see, and watch, online and off. Why am I giving these secrets? Because I'm tired of a world where blogs take indirect bribes marketers help, write the news, reckless journalists spread lies, and no one is accountable for any of it. I'm pulling back the curtain because I don't want anyone else to get blindsided. I'm going to explain exactly how the media really works. What you choose to do with this information is up to you. So you can check this book out if you're interested to know how the media works. Now the fourth book is A Visit from the Goon Squad. Jennifer Egan's spellbinding interlocking narratives circle the lives of Benny Salazar, an aging former punk rocker and record executive, and Sasha, the passionate, troubled young woman he employs. Although Bernie and Sasha never discover each other's past, the reader does, in intimate detail, along with the secret lives of a host of other characters whose paths intersect with theirs over many years, in locales as varied as New York, San Francisco, Naples, and Africa. We first meet Sasha in her mid-30s, on her therapist's couch in New York City, confronting her long-standing compulsion to steal. Later, we learn the genesis of her turmoil when we see her as the child of a violent marriage, then as a runaway living in Naples, then as a college student trying to avert the suicidal impulses of her best friend. We plunge into the hidden yearnings and disappointments of her uncle, an art historian stuck in a dead-end marriage, who travels to Naples to extract Sasha from the city's demimonde and experiences an epiphany of his own. We meet Benny Salazar at the melancholy nadir of his adult life, divorced, struggling to connect with his 9-year-old son, listening to a washed-up band in the basement of a suburban house, and then revisit him in 1979, at the height of his youth, shy and tender, reveling in his San Francisco's punk scene as he discovers his art of rock and roll and his gift for spotting talent. We learn what became of his high school gang, who thrived and who faltered. We encounter Lou Klein, Benny's catastrophically careless mentor, along with the lovers and children left behind in the wake of Lou's far-flung sexual conquests and meteoric rise and fall. A Visit from the Goon Squad is a book about the interplay of time and music, about survival, about stirrings and transformations set inexorably in motion by even the most passing conjunction of our fates. In a breathtaking array of styles and tones, ranging from tragedy to satire to PowerPoint, Egan captures the undertow of self-destruction that we all must either master or succumb to, the basic human hunger for redemption, and the universal tendency to reach for both and escape the merciless progress of time in the transporting realms of art and music. So this is a really good book. That's why I want to read this book. Normal People. So this book is about Colonel and Marianne. They grew up in the same town, but the similarities end there. At the school, Colonel is popular and well-liked, while Marianne is a loner. But when the two strike up a conversation, awkward but electrifying, something life-changing begins. Okay. A year later, they're both studying at the Trinity College in Dublin. Very convenient, may I say? Marianne has found her feet in a new social world, while Colonel hangs at the sidelines, shy and uncertain. Throughout their years at the university, Marianne and Colonel circle one another, straying toward other people and possibilities, but always magnetically, irresistibly drawn back together. And as she veers into self-destruction and he begins to search for meaning elsewhere, each must confront how far they are willing to go to save each other. Normal People is a story of mutual fascination, friendship, and love. It takes us from the first conversation to the years beyond in the company of two people who try to stay apart but find that they can't. So basically, this book deals with relationships. I've heard a lot about this book. I haven't read it yet, but I'm gonna. So you can check it out if you like. Hi guys, how are you doing? I hope you're great. So let me know if you like any of these books, and I would suggest that you read all of these books because all of them are amazing. And let me know if you find something for you. But anyway, thank you so much for watching.
Don't forget to like, comment, share, and subscribe. Don't forget to ring that bell so you don't miss any videos from me. Follow me on Instagram. Let me know what was your favorite part of the video or which novel I should review next, or just say hi, that's fine too. And above all that, everybody have an amazing day. I'll see you all next Monday.